The new scramble for Africa makes the 19th century land grab look like a polite disagreement, and the minerals underneath it will determine who wins the 21st century. We are witnessing the birth of a $10 trillion prize. While the world watches the shifting sands of the Middle East and the volatility of the Strait of Hormuz, the real map of global power is being redrawn beneath the red soil of the African continent. This isn't just about territory anymore. It's about the periodic table of power. Africa currently holds over 30% of the world's rare earth and battery mineral reserves. These aren't just rocks. They are the oxygen of the modern economy. Without them, there is no green transition, no advanced AI, and no next-generation defense industry. As disruptions in traditional energy corridors make old supply chains look like liabilities, African mines have transformed into the most contested real estate on Earth. But this isn't a fair fight. It's a room with three predators circling a single piece of prey, and the exits have been welded shut. Each predator has a different playbook, and each one is playing for keeps. First, look at China. They didn't wait for the crisis to begin. They built the foundation decades ago. Through massive infrastructure for minerals deals, Beijing has effectively mortgaged the future of entire nations. They build the roads, the bridges, and the ports, but the fine print usually leads back to a lithium or cobalt mine. They've secured the midstream processing, meaning even if you dig the ore, you likely have to ask China for permission to turn it into a battery. Then there is Russia. While China brings engineers, Moscow brings muscle. Russia has rapidly expanded its influence through military pacts and private security forces, offering a protection package to regimes in exchange for access to gold, diamonds, and uranium. They aren't interested in building nations. They are interested in securing the perimeter of the treasure chest. And then there is the West, the United States, and Europe. They've arrived late to the game, blinking in the sunlight, realizing their entire technological future is tethered to supply chains they don't control. They are scrambling to secure the DRC's cobalt and Namibia's lithium, trying to offer values-based investment to leaders who have already seen the color of Chinese and Russian money. It is a desperate, high-stakes game of catch-up where the prize is national survival. But this rush for wealth has birthed a resource curse 2.0. In the vacuum of weak governance, the treasure chest is rapidly becoming a powder keg. Local warlords and extremist groups have realized that controlling a mine is more lucrative than controlling a capital city. They are exploiting the chaos to fund insurgencies, destabilizing governments from the Sahel to the Congo. When the world's superpowers treat a continent like a hardware store, they often forget that the people living inside it are the ones who pay the price in blood. The global financial fallout is already beginning to ripple through the markets. For investors, this is a landscape of extreme contrast. Unprecedented reward shadowed by existential political risk. We see it in the volatility of critical mineral miners and the shaky performance of African frontier market ETFs. Even French and American defense firms, once the gatekeepers of the continent, are finding themselves navigating a maze of shifting loyalties and hostile competitors. One coup, one nationalized mine, or one localized conflict can wipe out a decade of projected profits overnight. We have spent centuries looking at traditional borders, but those lines on the map are becoming irrelevant. The real borders of the future are being drawn in the pits of the DRC, the mountains of Guinea, and the deserts of Namibia. It is a silent war of attrition where the bullets are contracts and the bunkers are boardroom tables. The tragedy of the first scramble for Africa was that the continent was carved up for its land. The tragedy of this new scramble is that it is being carved up for its soul, the very elements that make modern life possible. The world is hungry, the resources are finite, and the clock is ticking. In the fight for the world's last treasure chest, there are no spectators, only those who control the supply and those who are held hostage by it. The question is no longer who owns the land, but who owns the future. And right now, that future is being dug out of the ground, 1 ton of ore at a time, while the rest of the world waits for the explosion.